Merry Ficsmas! Wait, what? It's over? Well, then Happy New Year! That's over too? Oh. Well, I was on vacation. So, we're gonna do this anyways. Let's get going. All right, now it's time to turn this desolate place into a fun, Christmassy Ficsmas Factory, even though Christmas is over. I actually want to turn this area into a little bit of a castle wall with a couple of towers at each end, just small ones. So we're going to just do that first, and then we're going to try to flatten some stuff out and start building some factories. We also need to get our rockets and snowballs done because we have fireworks. So we need to build a lot of stuff in order to make lots of those so that we have those for the rest of the year, because I'm sure there's plenty of uses we can find for fireworks, in many places. So we're going to start up here. We're going to build a wall, and then we're going to start doing some factories. So I'm going to get started on that. Someone else pointed out I can actually change the defaults by right-clicking on these things, and I can choose what I want it to set. So instead of setting this to white and having to fix everything, what I'm going to do is actually we set up a white and a black color, I think, in the coal episodes somewhere, and I'm going to set this to concrete foundation, and now I should be able to make white concrete without having to go back and repaint it. Oh, that's so nice. We might have to do this for pipes too. We're going to do our tower here. Now, I know there's a few methods for making curves. I did the DC1 method in the last Ficsmas episode, and someone pointed out there's a faster method, and I think Total Eclipse demonstrated it, where you can use instead of just using the WAN method where we pivot on a corner, you can use the walkways, and you can actually pivot them. Now, the only downside to this method is that when you line up the foundations, you're no longer getting corner to corner. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because with some right design, this little stick out part could look pretty good. You do lose some control over the circle. You can't quite do it as much. 7, 8. That's like 9. So you only get like 9 rotation points to a 90-degree turn. If you wanted to do like really steep turns, you're going to have a lot more. You're going to have a little challenge here, and you're going to have a bigger corner sticking out, which might be fine. Depending on your design plans, this little piece sticking out may look great. It can look pretty cool depending on what you're doing. But if you want to have just those perfect corner to corner turns, you still got to use the DC1 method. We will do that method still for this. That said, if we were to use walls, the walls, because we're pivoting right on the corner, the walls will have a little gap between them. So kind of have to pick your poison. So we just do that. Come up. We're going to do, in this case, we're going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Come back out. And down. Yeah, it's a little more work. But now we have our pivot right on the corner, and there's nothing sticking out. But yes, as I said, if you use walls, you will get a little gap right there. So if you use the walkway method, you could create some pretty cool like pillar looking things in these corners. If you wanted to use walls, you won't be able to control your curve as much. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and continue to use this. I played around with it. I do like the way the little corners can stick out using this method, but it doesn't quite have the size that I want. It doesn't give me the control that I want for this. So we're going to stick with the DC method. All right, so one thing I want is a doorway axis, and our flat versions right here, there's only so much I can do with the clipping, but we're going to actually build around the circle. Good. So now we have a little walkway. A little bit of clipping, a little bit of Z fighting, whatever. and that's okay. And this is where actually I can do something interesting. So like here, we're going to go regular, and here we're going to go regular. Don't run me over. Now, one thing we can do is we bring out this by 1, and now we can actually use walkway, and we can either do one of two things. We can actually use it to help us come out by 1 because we can line it up like this. And I think this looks great. So we can put a ramp on top like this, and then you'd get these cool little side pillars that come out. Or we can go in, use the same method, non-vertical mode, use our walkway like this, and it nicely comes down. So, and we just got to have it dip in by 1/4, and then we can actually just attach this on the inside. You can come down, and now you have an inlaid one, which is nice. And you can always do an under ramp if you wanted to smooth it out. It's a little difficult to snap, but yeah, there, you could totally get away with that. Two good methods. We could, I wish we could use these, but they don't have a concrete version, so not much you can do. So I'm going to add these around the base of this, and we're going to see how it looks. Looks pretty good. I like it. I know the inset method would look pretty good too, but I think this gives it some texture. Well, both methods give it texture. We gotta do the other side. We're gonna do something similar here across here too. We can either do the inset method or the outset method, but I also want to color them. I think we're gonna try outset, and if it doesn't look good, we're gonna go inset. Now, if you really wanted to, we could inset these a little bit, and it would cut down the amount they're sticking out, but I've only got a few sticking out. I'm not sure if they're going to stay, because we could get away, now that we've inset we could get away with this. We got a deeper texture, but I kind of like, since they're so tall, I kind of like something sticking out. So for now, we're going to leave it. Let me know what you think if this looks a little too kibbutzy. Wasn't originally my intention, but it's just for one wall. We're not going to be doing this all the way around. We're just going to do the front, and we're going to do a big platform here. We're going to change this one into a big platform, and we're going to do a big tree, kind of like I suggested in the first Ficsmas episode. We're going to have a tower over there. And so it'll just look, the front of it will just look like a bit of a castle wall, Ficsmasy castle wall. So up top, we're going to build factories first. And then when we're all done with that, we will box it up and make it look prettier. Okay, well, I think it needs a little bit more work. I got a little more painting to do and get rid of this ramp, but it's kind of pulling together kind of what I wanted to. Added a little 1 meter walls on there. I had to actually add walls all the way across, otherwise the little things were sticking out a little bit. But this is kind of what I want, a little bit of a castle front. That's about it for the design. The main design here, we're going to do this is good. I think now we need to go in there, get some foundations laid out, and start laying down some actual factories. Let's go. All right. So here's what I'm kind of thinking. I got a little bit of platform laid out here. This isn't very much room to do a factory, but I'm kind of thinking we're going to have this front part as a walkway, of course. Maybe 1, 2, or maybe even 3 foundations available just for having some moving room up here. But what I'd think is I'd like to have a row of Christmas trees running down this front area in front of whatever wall we put up, and they can be sending in gifts. So I think that's kind of what I want to do. Okay, so no matter how I pretty much string it, it's a tough build up here because there's just not a lot of room for a lot of platforms until we go up. So what I've decided to do, since we're focusing on fireworks right now, is I'm going to follow my original idea and put our Christmas trees right along the front here. And we actually need 33 Christmas trees for the fireworks, which perfectly fits from one space foundation away from the wall there and one space foundation away from the wall there. I kind of wanted the door in the middle, but that's how it fits without me kind of like clipping into edges. I think I can use this space and I can actually make an underground tunnel to go up and over, up into something in here. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to go with that for now. Up here, I started doing one of the fireworks. We need 18 constructors for the sweet fireworks to make tree branches and candy. So we'll attach a certain number of trees to that, which I believe is 15 trees, and we'll make the items here for the sweet fireworks, and we'll send it up and have another floor for the assemblers. We need 6 assemblers. Hopefully we can fit it in without needing extra space. We'll see what happens. We're going to do the same thing for the next set. I extended out this platform as far as I could until we started hitting this, and then we'll probably just carry it on over there. I think we'll be able to fit it all in. We don't need as many constructors for the next 2. We actually only need looks like 15 constructors for the next one and 6 assemblers again, and then we'll need only like 8 constructors the next one and 6 assemblers. So as long as we can get the assemblers on the second floor, we'll be fine up here. Okay, so we have all the components for our fireworks being made now. Down here, we're making the sweet fireworks. In the middle, we're making the fancy fireworks. And at the end, we're making the sparkly fireworks. And each one actually gets progressively easier to make. There's just not as many machines involved. On this side, we're doing trees all the way down, the tree branches. And on this side, we're doing the individual components, which I believe is candy canes for the sweet fireworks. It's bows for the fancy fireworks, and it's just snow for the sparkly fireworks. Our trees, our 33 Christmas trees that we set up earlier, are just merging together where they need to be and bringing the gifts up. There's just 3 spots, one down at the end, one here in the middle, and one at the other end. I don't think this is perfectly the middle, but yeah, whatever. I got this little glass thing running down the middle at the moment, just as an idea for a walkway. Here, these are not going to stay. I'm just preloading the components that we're making into a container so that I can shove them into the assemblers upstairs, since we're going to be using a manifold. I know I said I would be using more even splitting in the last Ficsmas video, but the space was very constrained the way I did it. So I just went ahead and used a manifold and let it run like it is now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go upstairs and do the assemblers for these fireworks. We're doing about 15 a minute of each, which is not a ton, but it's enough. It'll fill some containers by the time the Ficsmas is over. And I can always spaghetti together more if I really wanted more, but I think it'll be enough. After that, we have to get snowballs going and get snowballs unlocked. So we're going to take care of that. Let's go. Okay, so I went ahead and finished the other 12, and everything is now basically running. There is no mergers downstairs yet. This is just added some downspouts, and we have this lovely effect, which I think I saw some pictures of on the Satisfactory Discord of some weirdness, but yeah, so it's happening. They might patch this before the end of Ficsmas, but at this close, I'm not really sure. So what I'm going to do next is I need to just throw some mergers together and the pancake floor, and then I'm going to create a little hub downstairs, just a little little storage room, and we're going to send everything down there where we can just keep it, let it run, and let it build up while we're doing the rest of the stuff. So I'm going to quickly do that, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've done a little hub downstairs, but I thought this was very interesting. We saw this earlier when I set down the lifts, and yeah, well, once you put some belts down, I decided to save the last one for you. So we're just going to attach it up right now and get to enjoy the show. You know what this makes me want to do? This makes me want to have like some belts in the front of this little castle thing, so it just looks like we have ballistic missiles just being shipped back and forth. It wasn't intended, it was more intended to be a Christmas castle. If we fill some belts up with these and send them on the front, it'll look like a military installation. This is ridiculous. I'm assuming they'll do something to fix this before Ficsmas is over, but if they don't, we might have to do that and just make this look like a scary little military installation. It's quite humorous. It's just a wall of missiles, just clipping through everything. All right, let's jump downstairs and see what I did. As you can see over here, I had to come up with some belt gymnastics. So they come down here, they come through the pancake floor, and then they come here, and then they go down here pretty much to avoid everything. I used the frame pillars again, and then it clips through everything. Not much we can do about it for now. Not everything goes according to plan. And down here is my little mini hub room. Don't have a ton of space, but it works. I saved an extra one for snowballs, which I haven't done yet. This just connects our front to back here, and now we have stored for all the fireworks. I think they look like they're going to be 500 stacks, so I'm assuming 4 good storage containers of each one. If we can fill it up before Ficsmas is over, that we should be good for the rest of the year for when we want to use fireworks. Same for snowballs. 4 containers should be enough, unless they change it back. Well, should be fine. So this will work. So the next thing we need to do is we actually need to get snowballs done, and then the next episode we will decorate everything. See if we can get this prettied up. We got to be able to do some unlocks as well. So we have to finish up this one, get access to wreaths. We're gonna have to go make wreaths. So let's do it. Okay. So I'm here in my little starter Ficsmas Factory that we created. I had added ornament bundles so that I could do the lights. So for some wreaths, we need like, what, it's like 50 wreaths or something like that, or 100 wreaths to push forward, or 200. So what we're gonna do is I have some tree branches here, and we have ornament bundles here. So we're just gonna set up one assembler, like right here. And we're just gonna spaghetti together. Almost straight. We're just gonna spaghetti together some wreaths real fast. We'll get the 200 or so that we need just to do the unlocks. And that way we don't have to wait for us to finish our main Ficsmas Factory to get this wreath. So I'm just gonna plug that in, turn it on, let it go, spaghetti, and we'll come back to this. All right, now I've gathered everything I need to kind of unlock what we need to finish up our factory. So I have the wreaths. We're gonna get our tree upgrade 3. Let's take a look. We got another tree.
When you're sleeping, we know when you're awake. We know if you've been productive or not, so be efficient for goodness sake.
I've been so inefficient over the holidays. It's sad. Anyways, let's get the next couple of unlocks. Our wreaths and the stars, so we can actually go do our main factory. We will not be spaghetting the star. We are going to make an actual factory for the star. And the snowballs, so we can make snowballs. All right, let's head back. Okay, that's it for this episode. Next episode, I think we're going to do it a little different. I think what I'm going to do is finish everything and decorate it, and then we're going to do more of a tour episode, because I think everyone's done Ficsmas by this point, and no one needs to really watch me build a star factory. You've all done it. If I was going crazy big, maybe different, but I think it'll be more fun if I just finish it, decorate it, and we have some tour fun. But I need some of your help, because I have a decision to make. I need to decorate this factory, and I can either do one of two things. I can go crazy with the Ficsmas look, maybe do big present boxes for the buildings, or B, I can give it more industrial look, like our steel factory and in concrete over there, and the rest of our look. And that way, when we're looking back 20 episodes from now on the rocky desert, and we have all these buildings around here, we can have a bit more uniform look, and it doesn't look too crazy. So, or we go full Ficsmas, and it looks crazy and out of place, and that's okay. So give me your opinions, which way you think I should go with the decorating. And that's where we're going to end it today. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you next time.